Crack open a cold one. Hey, welcome to the Honest Trailer Commentaries for Ant-Man and Smoking the Reefer. No, it's Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm Spencer J. Gilbert. That's Joe Starr. Dan Merle.
Littering in.
Ant-Man and. You know what. Guys, we're back. We're talking about the Honest Trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp that you hopefully just watched. And if you stick around, I got a few little things that didn't make it into the final cut, so skip forward to that. But in the meantime, let's talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp. Guys, this to me was a perfectly fine, enjoyable sequel to a perfectly fine, enjoyable first movie.
Yes. I like the first Ant-Man movie more than many perhaps. This is fun.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where I was. My favorite thing about this movie specifically was that it was not 50 years worth of serialized sci-fi.
Sure. I think that that is a fair point to make, that your enjoyment of this depends on how badly you want it to connect to what you just watched in 18 other movies.
I think he just meant that the TARDIS wasn't in it.
Yeah, I was just glad it wasn't Doctor Who. But I was like...
It's nice to watch something that isn't Doctor Who again.
Doctor Who.
But I was like, that was a well-connected Spencer, so I was just going to roll with it. But yeah, I also agree. It is kind of nice to just watch a thing that's...
a movie.
A movie.
With a beginning, a middle, and an
end.
end.
And doesn't have like Michael Douglas doesn't have to stop to go to a hot tub of fate. To
set up Michael Douglas and the hot tub of fate.
Which I would watch.
Yes. I think we all would.
I mean, I can hear it now. The pitter-patter of Marvel shill comments from the comments section.
Oh boy.
Yes.
I can hear it now. But it's like this was a much better comedy than it was a superhero film.
As was the first one.
It's fine. I don't get the I've seen a lot of vitriol toward this film, but mainly it's just because like I hate this movie. It was nothing special. Like, well, those are two different things. It's fine.
Yeah.
I found it to be fine.
I thought that this was visually, as far as the big things getting big and little things getting little stuff was great. I think that the quantum realm, not so fond of it.
Yeah.
That went from thing that you can never do and must never attempt to like
here it is.
A Vegas pretty quick.
Well, we touched on this a little bit in the trailer. For me, it was like about 30 to 35 minutes of like pretty solid storytelling, advancing the story of Ant-Man and the Wasp and the quantum realm and Janet, and sort of like really taking here's what we did in the first movie and here's the sequel to that movie. That was a solid 35-ish minutes of this film. And then it was like an hour of Walton Goggins running around in cars and trying to steal
we'll get
things.
to that.
Goggining around.
I felt that was the weakest element. It's just like, I felt like they had about 35 minutes of good story to tell. And they're like, we have an hour, guys. What do we do? We gotta do something.
Run it back. Let's get an arms dealer in here. Let's get Michael Pena to do the drunk history thing he does again.
Yes. Good to see Randall Park in a big role.
Yeah. I love that guy.
I like Randall.
Sure.
He's a good dude.
It's challenging though, because like, do you do a whole Ant-Man and the Wasp movie in the quantum realm, and you do like the search for Janet? Does what they've set up Ant-Man to be work if he's just in a weird like Doctor Strange fart for 90
weird
minutes?
because they've set up, if you think about it, his powers make him in the upper echelon of superheroes. Like he could have given Thanos an aneurysm, or he could have been so helpful to that, but he's stuck. He does these kind of street level adventures in his last two movies. They're like heists of MacGuffins. Maybe that's by design because he kind of breaks the plot if you put him with the other Avengers. Like Ant-Man, run into that guy's brain and make it explode. Well, that'd be a very R-rated movie, but I'd watch it.
With Hank in the comics, they
Scan
Scan-Man.
With Hank in the comics, they sort of try to. The angle has always been this guy would be unstoppable if he wasn't such a sad drunk. Like a depressed drunk. So like they try to do character things, and I guess what they try to do with Scott in the movies is like he could be unstoppable if he didn't not care. Like because it seems that he just like wants to do good by his daughter and doesn't. So I guess that's what's stopping him. That's the thin sort of narrative line that's stopping him from just like murdering everybody.
All right. Well, we'll have more to say, but we'll say it while we watch the trailer for Ant-Man.
Sorry.
And the Wasp.
I was on your headphones.
Yeah, that's fine. Flurry of activity under this desk. We did that joke again. Yeah, good for us.
It's small.
get
As
it.
the MCU reaches its darkest hour, killing half of your favorite heroes in an instant, Marvel's next movie will answer the least important question on everyone's minds. Where was Paul Rudd?
Doing fast.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. Return to the franchise that everyone likes but no one really cares
Not as much
about
actual
in
Ant
this
stuff
satisfying
in this one.
episode of Marvel Season 3, Episode
Actual
8.
Ant fans
And while you don't need to see
look
the first
elsewhere.
Ant-Man to know what's going on, you definitely need to catch up on Captain America Civil War, especially if you're in the movie.
I
really screwed up because they didn't tell me when we started this that I should go see Captain America. So when I read the script for this, I had no idea in the beginning what was going on.
You are everyone's dad right now.
Pause. Hand gestures in older dudes. Does that just get worse as you get?
Really?
Yeah,
He talks with his hands?
I talk with my hands a lot.
Yeah.
But I
think it's
feel
just
like it gets. Does it get worse?
I think it cuts across age.
Okay.
You know, it's definitely some cultures are big hand talkers.
My dad's leveled up a lot as he's gotten.
Okay.
I think as you get older, you have more things to explain.
You do more wagging
do
of the
more.
finger.
You're like, why don't you understand what I'm talking about?
Okay.
I'm trying to reach
Yeah.
out to you.
Okay.
I mean, speaking of Doctor Who, I mean, I watched 5 seasons of Matt Smith and the Happy Hands Club. So, anyways, everything comes back to Who.
That's all I had.
Yeah, Michael Douglas. It's a great interview. It's with MTV, and he's basically like, "I don't watch the Captain Americas. I promise I'll watch it next time. But Peyton Reed has to tell me to watch it, and I'll do it." So he's very much like. I mean, I imagine a lot of people are just like, they treat these things casually. Like, I had to watch the third Captain America to know
Right.
what's happening in the second Ant-Man. Like, pass.
If you're Mr. Douglas's age, he lives in a world where like franchises were apart from each other. You didn't have to go watch Batman and know what's going on in Superman, and
Yeah.
it's like I have to. What?
The thing with Marvel too now is now that there's so much, like you can specialize. Like my mother-in-law only watches Guardians and Thor.
Nice.
So we showed her.
She's a cosmic fan.
We showed her Infinity War, and she was just like, "Why would people be mad at Captain America? Like, what is this?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a commitment.
Well, there you go.
It's definitely a commitment.
Yeah. Anyways, we love you, Mr. Douglas. Keep going.
You are everyone's dad right now, Mr. Douglas, and I love you for it. The cutest Marvel white boy, not named Chris, returns as Ant-Man, the hero who toes the line between
I was
effortless
just going through it in
charm
my mind.
and just plain effortless. He'll team up once again with Hank Pym, the guy who invented an end to world hunger, then used it to build fighting suits.
Yeah, pause. He's a bad man. If he can grow or shrink food, he can either grow like one large cow, and we all eat the big cow, or he can take all food logistics and supply chain problems and just take, an entire field's worth of crops in his pocket, to regions that need it.
When you think about it, he and Thanos could really have teamed up to solve that whole world hunger problem.
Yeah, snap! You don't need to snap to erase half. Just bring me Hank Pym, and then give Hank Pym a conscience, and then boom.
Although I do take umbrage. Do you realize what kind of destruction a massive cow could wreak?
All right.
If you were to grow a cow to that size,
A massive bean. Pick your
magic
food.
bean?
A massive bean. This is science, Joe. Science, not magic.
Where I come from, they're one and the same.
Yeah, I mean, he just built punching suits. What the hell?
yeah, that's true. Build a huge corn field.
I love that because they touch on that in Iron Man too, where he's like, "We've made IntelliCrops and this and that. I'm gonna make a better M16." Like,
Yeah, or I think Tony Stark several times over invented infinite clean energy sources. And he's like,
Yes.
I'm going to use it to build shooting suits.
yay!
Wasn't he powering his lab off of these massive, huge Duracell batteries that were plugged in?
Yeah.
Because I remember
Right.
when we reviewed, I was like, "How do they get powered?" I was like, "You did not see the massive Duracell batteries plugged in." So obviously, he figured out a huge solution to power storage. There goes greenhouse gases.
Any one of them
Done.
could have.
And nanotech, so if a building goes down, he can nanotech it back up in a second.
There's really
Fighting suits.
There's a whole subtext to Marvel movies that we won't get into here, but that superheroes are there to maintain the status quo and not actually improve the world because change is bad in the Marvel universe. They're there to keep things in place.
Especially the Pym particle.
Yeah.
Which is only held back by one man's alcoholism. Otherwise, complete game changer.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's keep going.
Fighting suits. Hope Van Dyne, the first female Marvel hero in a movie title, and like the 5th female Marvel hero playing the serious one, rolling her eyes at a goofy male counterpart.
Marvel dynamic.
Oh, you.
Oh, you. I'm
And
serious.
Louise,
Kevin
who makes
James.
up for being the MCU movie's only Mexican character by being the absolute most Mexican character.
Having
I
Wanda
believe I had a good lunch at
Morrissey
the restaurant.
with
Yeah,
that
Philippe Morrissey.
Bonita.
Embark on a
We should point out that we specifically wrote MCU movies only Mexican character because Ghost Rider
In Agents of
and Agents
S.H.I.E.L.D.,
of S.H.I.E.L.D. is
Which is a TV show.
it's a TV show. It is part of the MCU.
Yes.
Which is why we said movies.
Yep.
Movies.
If you ask Jeff Loeb,
Yes.
it is definitely part of the MCU.
Yes.
According to him.
We are aware of Robbie Reyes.
And I think we made some, like in the first Ant-Man, like the only Latino in the MCU, which we were corrected. So he is the only person playing an actual Mexican-American. There are other Latinx actors and actresses.
But they are
playing
painted green.
playing various cosmic beings.
What we're saying is that we hear you and we're doing our best. This is really we're doing everything we can do. We're not perfect, but we try.
Far from it. But and so is Michael Pena for representing twice as hard.
And so is Morrissey.
So is Morrissey. Yeah.
Yeah.
In his own
I still don't
sad
get
bless
it,
Morrissey.
but yeah. Anyways, keep going.
Embark on a feature-length game of Capture the
What's
Lab.
the deal?
I'm arranging some buyers for your lab.
You got the lab.
Got to get that lab back.
We need to regroup and figure out where the lab is.
Tim's lab is gone.
Get my lab.
I want that lab.
I'll get the lab. Lab!
Birch got the lab.
I got the lab. I got the lab.
As our heroes race to save Michelle Pfeiffer from 30 years in the quantum realm, a CGI wonderland made of Doctor Strange outtakes, Easter eggs, and I guess beauty supplies because she came out of there looking nice. But hot on their tails
Yeah,
is
you spend
Ghost,
30
a girl
years
who just
somewhere.
wants to cure her chronic pain
It always hurts.
and gets the snot beaten out of her for trying. That'll teach you not to want pain. And last but definitely least, Sonny Burge, a regular guy with a couple of goons, a tan
mean, I
suit,
love this
in
guy.
a crappy restaurant, I guess.
I've also committed numerous
all the
health code
bad Marvel
violations in my
villains.
Can we
restaurant.
pause?
Come on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pause.
Let's talk about Goggins.
Let's talk about Goggins.
Well, the
We-
villains in this movie in
Birch.
general, because like they had a compelling thing going with Ghost of like she's too sympathetic. It's like she's literally just trying to save her own life with this technology that Hank Pym refuses to share with anyone else.
get my wife.
Now Shield fired me, or they were mean to me, so I'm gonna make the whole world suffer.
Where's my? Let's get my lab and keep it from these people.
Roll my lab away.
And then they did this weird thing where like Lawrence Fishburne was like helping her, but he was a fraud. But then it turned out he wasn't. Like he was too good. He ended up being good.
It was the
also
fake
in
villain.
end.
It was the fake out villain fake out.
Yeah, they double faked out him as a villain, so they were left with no villains.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right,
We need a villain.
we need somebody.
Would it have been interesting if they had just done the fake out there's no villains and everyone gets Janet out together and it's fine? Would that have been a refreshing formula thing, or would that have been weird and it would have fallen on its face?
I guess if they could have made like a final challenge of getting Janet out, of like that would be your third act, like ending sequence of like Dormammu in the Doctor Strange or something like that. What I kept expecting was Walton Goggins, who's criminally misused in every. He's a
2018 Maze Runner movie, Tomb Raider, and now this one.
Yeah.
How do you? You're
When is-
80% there just by casting the guy.
When is he going to have his Sam Rockwell year?
I don't know. But speaking of Sam Rockwell, it's like he could have been Justin Hammer.
Yep.
He keeps talking about my buyers. You know, I
Yeah.
have people interested in this lab. I keep expecting him to get off the phone with Marvel supervillain, the Claw. You know,
Yeah.
get somebody him to finally pick up the phone, and he ends up calling Randall Park's like lower subordinate, that's his hookup, is like not the guy running the FBI investigation, but the guy below that who like works for that guy.
His intern?
Basically like a step above the anonymous tip line of the FBI was like his hookup. So I just gotta, when you think about what this guy was putting himself into, was a putting himself into the middle of a life-threatening battle between two people with the power to shrink to quantum dots and beat the shit out of people and murder.
Pull your cells apart.
Yeah, and hide entire labs down into an instant. He's a guy with an Escalade and a dream. He's got gold rims.
And he doesn't even have an Escalade anymore.
And his car's gone.
Yeah.
And he's still like, even after he finds Ghost, who's like phasing through the walls and kicking people's ass, he's like, you know what? I still think I can pull this off. I still think I got a shot.
Get me that lab.
Get me that lab.
I'm going to fight both of the superpowered factions for this lab. Where are my faceless goons?
Yeah.
Is he the American dream?
He is the American dream.
Are
I
we all-
salute you.
Yeah.
Sonny Birch, you might be the most underrated, but criminally outmatched and out of your element Marvel villain. Here's to you. Keep it up, Goggins. Anyways, that's my rant about the bad guy in Ant-Man 2. Keep going.
Violations in my restaurant.
Come on, where's his tech? Super Boss? He's going after four of the strongest, smartest people in the MCU with nothing but a cell phone and a dream. Oh, come on, Iron Fist could beat this guy. Iron
canceled.
Fist.
R.I.P. Iron Fist.
Enjoy
After we
all
read
the
that
visual
joke,
Ant-Manery
time
you've
to
come
slot
to
that in.
expect, where little things are embiggened and big things are constantly belittled,
You two are finished comparing sizes.
creating awesome action scenes that spit in the face of physics. But according to Marvel, you can make science do anything if you just slap the word quantum on it.
Quantum realm.
Quantum technology.
Quantum anomaly. Quantum phase.
Quantum spectrometer.
Quantum system. Quantum energy.
Quantum reset.
Quantum void.
Quantum entanglement between the quantum states.
Quantum healing particles.
Did you guys just put the word quantum in front of everything?
Hey, stop calling out your own lazy explanations. That's our job.
Pause. To what degree? How much leeway do you give lamp shading in a movie? Which, for people that don't know, lamp shading is calling out something in a movie. Like, well, we pointed it out, so we put a lampshade on it.
In this case,
so
I
it's
don't
okay.
really care because, like,
Ant-Man.
It's Ant-Man, and the Marvel science explanations have never been like grounded in the most science.
Sure.
It would bother me more in something like an Interstellar, where obviously bendy science in that too, but the creator intention was that like this is real and you will take this very seriously.
Yeah.
And so I think if they had lampshaded that a lot or just wrote things off like, well, we don't know how any of it really works after like spending their whole movie being like, this is a very serious explanation as to why everything in Interstellar works. That would have bothered me there. But maybe, Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I don't know. At the end of the day, it's Paul Rudd making. Yeah.
It makes no sense. The PIM particles are supposed, or whatever it is, it's supposed to reduce the space between atoms, I think, is the way they explain it. But quantum stuff is smaller than atoms. So how?
Subatomic.
Subatomic.
They went subatomic.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Do you care, Dan?
No.
All right.
I just wonder, like, I think I'm not saying this movie does it, but I feel like some films use lamp shading as a way to just get away with laziness.
Yeah, I think this is probably like the Marvel punch-up process. Is somebody's like, there, you really say this a lot. Someone's going to ding you for it. Why don't you have Paul Rudd riff about
Why you say this.
Yeah, why are you saying it so much? There.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Bang, bang,
Next.
boom.
Anyways, keep going.
Moving on. Go.
So enjoy a film that managed to be funny and compelling, with good action and great effects, that would have blown everyone's mind less than 10 years ago.
This is awesome.
But because it doesn't further Marvel's 19-movie superplot enough, nerds will treat it like a pesky insect. How many planets do they visit? Just one? A pass. I don't get out of bed for anything less than a celestial. A good day, sir. Starring Big Hero Shticks, Smalling Down. If you like it, then you should have put a thing on it.
Reference.
Dumb Zemo. Definitely not Nick Fury.
I'm not Lawrence Fishburne.
All right, pause
Far.
that. For those that don't know, there was a Super Bowl ad once that starred Lawrence Fishburne doing a riff on The Matrix, and then Samuel L. Jackson went onto a news show the next day
In Los Angeles,
and they
their
asked
entertainment
him
reporter.
if he'd gotten a lot of reaction to the Super Bowl ad.
He's like, what ad?
What ad? And he's like, and then they tried to score it. He's like, wait, no, no, and that's what he said. I am not Lawrence Fishburne.
He
just spends...
And he would not let him
He would
get away
not
from
let
it
him go.
for like 4 minutes. And you're the entertainment reporter? It was great.
My favorite part is if you look behind him, he was doing a promotional appearance for the RoboCop remake.
That's the best part of the RoboCop
It was
remake.
already bad
Yes.
enough, and yes, he was the best part of the RoboCop
No,
remake.
this is
This
the best
is the
part
best
of the
part.
RoboCop remake.
also,
The RoboCop remake
our
brought us.
local KTLA 5.
Love KTLA 5.
Yeah.
If it bleeds, it leads. Local news. Never change.
Yeah. If you live in Los Angeles, you know KTLA, not the place you go for hard-hitting news coverage.
Not at all.
But if you've been hit hard by a car, you will probably be on KTLA.
On KTLA.
Several hours.
Their helicopter never leaves the sky.
I saw the guy cross the street and he just got creamed by that car.
And their news
Thank
is
you,
on
sir.
17 hours a day.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway,
Anyways.
look up that clip if you don't know. Just type
Yeah,
in
Sam Jackson, Lawrence
Fishburne.
Anyways, moving on.
Not Lawrence Fishburne.
Office Park, A Bug's Wife, Phasing, Anthony Mackie, and Kevin and the Feigees.
Yeah, that's the go-to
West Coast
Marvel
Avengers.
disguise.
Heidi hat.
Yeah. I think Feige must dictate.
I hope all the furniture was bolted down before you did that. Also, I hope you have a septic tank, because those toilets are not hooked up to anything.
It's quantum.
It's quantum
Quantum poop.
Quantum pee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean everything in there is just tipping over.
Quantum
Yeah.
sanitation.
Everything's on the other end
Yeah,
of the...
everything's
It's like
all
Inception
sloshing.
in there.
Yeah.
Brom.
Got him. All right, what delete scenes do we have?
Starring Biggie Smalls, Professor Shrink, the 8th smartest genius in the MCU, maybe 20th now?
Fallen
Wing
Devil.
Commando, Sting Commander. Just bring back Justin Hammer, you guys. Phased and Confused, Wicked Glitch of the West, Big Larva's House, Gus Van Sant, Anthony Michael
Get
Hall,
ready. Too many
Oh,
of
yeah.
these.
You're
Anthony
ready. Sorry,
Kiedis,
Robert. We're making you
Anthony
like all these.
Hopkins,
Yeah, I should've cut
and
some.
Bill Foster's Home for Involuntary Friends. I Dream of
His name's Bill
Teeny,
Foster. Oh, that's
Yeah.
a good
Pimpfinity War,
Good time.
Quantum Downsizing,
Sometimes
Damn
I don't
it,
say
Janet.
Robert everything.
Yeah, sorry.
Quantum of Suck
Quantum of
Ass,
Suck-Ass.
It
I heard
doesn't
stories
suck.
like what happened to you, like this crazy creepy cat who like walks through walls and stuff, like a ghost.
Like Baba Yaga.
John Wick in the MCU confirmed.
I mean, that's
You guys are so screwed now.
yes. I'll always associate Baba Yaga with John Wick from now
Oh
on.
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I know that Baba Yaga has,
Is a
I'm sure, been-
Folklore in of itself.
The Boogeyman. But
That's the first I heard of.
yeah.
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga. You killed his dog. The Baba Yaga come for you.
Yeah. So there you go. A delightful little snack of a film. A delightful little snack of an honest trailer. Tastes great. Not filling. I feel no need to say anything more about it.
I've forgotten that we did the trailer already.
I've already forgotten what we did.
This is a piece of honest trailer trivia, though. This is officially now the first time, because we're on an off cycle, the first time in the history of honest trailers that we now have honest trailers for every single available film in the MCU. Because we just caught up with
yeah.
Incredible Hulk before, and we were always doing honest trailers for MCU movies before the next MCU movie
Right.
opened. So there was always a new one coming out that we hadn't done when we were doing one. But now with
caught
Ant-Man
up.
and the Wasp, we've caught up.
The dog has caught its own tail.
We've caught up with the MCU,
Wow.
and now we got nothing till Captain Marvel.
What are we gonna do for Captain Marvel?
Yeah, we're screwed, guys. What are we
man.
gonna
the old Supergirl movie.
I guess.
We got
Yeesh.
nothing to do.
Wow. Well, we have something to do next week.
we
And
do.
in the meantime, just watch all the MCU honest trailers in a row. It's a lot easier than watching all the movies,
Got
right?
20 of them, and you can trace the evolution of honest trailers. Although they're not in order.
They're
far
way out
from
of
it.
order.
They're way out of order.
Yeah, so
Avengers
they'll
was the
get-
first one we did.
Yeah, totally. So that'll be weird.
Yeah.
Anyways, come back next week. We've got a nice thing brewing. Seasonally appropriate, I'd say.
I'd say very seasonally appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
All right. See you then. Bye.